All right, folks, we have the pleasure of being joined by Charles Neeter. He is the owner of Pacific Rim Trading. And fun fact about Charles and his company, I've actually purchased most of my silver from your company, Charles. And so I appreciate you for getting me that silver.
That's awesome. I appreciate you coming in.
This is kind of a funny story how we come together today. I went into your shop a few days ago to get some intel and a little bit of information on the market from my local dealer before I came up to Vancouver.
Sure.
And you said that you were going to be joining us up here, and I'm glad that we were able to connect. And
Awesome. I'm happy that you were able to have me come speak with you guys.
yeah. So, Charles, first we're going to just start about the macro situation here with gold and silver at all-time highs, and then I want to talk about this product that you're working on as well too.
Okay.
But for those who don't know who you are, give us a little bit about your background and how you got into the business.
A little history. I learned about gold and silver from my grandfather. I used to go visit him when I was younger over at his house, and he explained history to me. And the history that I learned was that he came from Belgium, and he was a coin collector, coin and stamp collector. And the history he told me is how he was able to come to America using his gold coins. Back in the day, he left Belgium 2 weeks before Hitler invaded. And the only thing that got him on the boat to come to America was his gold coin collection, which were actually ancient gold coins at the time. So he was able to barter with the ship captain and tell him, hey, I got this to trade to be able to get on the boat. And if he had the fiat currency at the time, everything was hyperinflated. There wasn't any value to it. That would never have gotten him on the boat. So it's always stuck with me on what he's done through the history, telling me that gold's always got value. Since then, we've had multiple generations in the business. Once gold became legal again, my mom started trading down in Arizona and gave me the history of gold and stuff like that. And when I was a young buck, back in the day in the early 90s, I started my own business. And this is when I started Pacific Rim Trading.
Yeah. I love your story. Owning precious metals, gold, really was a matter of life or death for your family, right?
Exactly.
And that's right where we're at right now with everything that we're up against. You know, we're not talking about hop on the ship to the new world necessarily, but there is some of that taking place right now with strategic relocation, flight to safety, and this is a large part why gold and silver are at new all-time highs. Now, so Charles, you've been in the business for 30 years?
Over 35 years.
35 years. Compare this bull run to the previous bull run in 2011. What do you see that's different as far as the fundamentals driving these prices?
This one I see different. I see it's more political, more about the monetary system.
Yeah.
Back then was more inflation hedge stuff that was happening at the time. I think we're at the end life of the fiat currency system. And I feel this is going to continually rise until they decide to bring us to a head and back the monetary system with gold. And I think that's coming soon.
We're seeing the United States and other countries are now coming out with strategic reserves, right? Central banks are buying it. These fundamentals weren't present in 2011, so it's a completely different environment. Now, let's speak to your business. What are you seeing right now in your shop as far as activity? You had mentioned when I came into your shop the other day that the lineup out the door in anticipation of the new sales tax being implemented in Washington State. So what have you been seeing on the ground?
So Washington State enacted a sales tax starting January 1st. The taxation's about 10%. So 10% to the consumer, plus they hit the dealer with a back end of a 0.5% B&O tax. So that's costing us, for example, every ounce of silver is costing us 50 cents per ounce. So it's making markets difficult going into the future here. Before that happened and customers started knowing that the sales tax was coming, we had lines out the door for the last 2 months. So we're seeing people understanding what's happening in the marketplace, and they want to preserve what they do have. We're even today, even though with the sales tax on there, we're having people come in paying the sales tax to get their money out of the fiat currency system.
They're that desperate to secure their wealth, get out of the
Yes.
fiat system. My question: are you seeing any more young gentlemen like myself? I'm 31. Your demographic, your client.
We are seeing younger generation coming in and buying precious metals. Definitely, we saw a lot more last year. Things have kind of changed a little bit this year because of the taxation, but we're still seeing, I think silver is obtainable for the average Joe to get into. And, at $100 silver and paying a 9.1% sales tax where we're at, they feel it's better to get in now than later down the road.
Yeah. Now, as a fellow citizen of Washington State, I think that we can both appreciate the lack of common sense in our state and the foolish mistakes that we continue to make ends up being good for your business, I assume, right? And for the assets that I've invested in, this has been very good.
It's been very good, but the problem is we have to make the people above us accountable for their actions, and they don't know how to cut back on spending. And so what do? They keep on taxation. So they trying to figure out every way possible to keep on taxing us, and that's why the state has put sales tax on precious metals. They're figuring they're losing money on, but the problem is most people are going to go outside the state to purchase.
Yeah, yeah. And as we're watching billions and hundreds of billions of fraud get exposed across this country,
Yes.
we're starting to get some independent journalists exposing it in our state. And, outside this conference right now, there's tens of thousands of people protesting. And I was speaking with Andy earlier today, Andy Sheckman, and I said to him, in this world of chaos, this changing world order, the one thing that makes sense right now is God's money being at all-time high and still having a long ways to go.
Gold is stability,
Yeah.
and I feel this system is not quite in place. The system they're ready to put in place. I think we still have a couple years for this, but I think gold will peak at a certain level, and gold will be the money of choice and back the monetary system that we're coming to.
So right now, are we going to see gold and silver take a little bit of a break? Is this just going to be a break, part of a longer-term trend that continues?
I think we're going to see ups and downs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much of a break we're going to have.
Yeah.
I think if we have a system that they're ready to start putting in place, because we're getting towards the end life of a fiat currency, so they have to figure out what's stability. The only money that's stable out there in the world is gold. And that's why we're seeing gold prices continually rise.
And what are you seeing right now from your suppliers and on the back end of your business? Shortages, margin call requirements being lifted, the squeeze is on.
The squeeze is on. We continually see the prices rising. The one issue we've been having is with the silver market through the refiners on being able to refine enough product. And they don't have the capability to continually refine. And when they decide to up margin requirements on these refiners, they can't afford to hold positions. So they end up cutting off positions on refining. So silver at a point right now has become more difficult to liquidate compared to what gold is. Gold is almost instant money. Silver takes time to get paid on.
Yeah. When I was in your shop the other day, I asked you about where premiums were at right now. Relative to the last bull run in 2011, premiums haven't spiked all that much yet.
Premiums have not gone up.
Yeah.
We've seen a premium on the buy side being a little bit more negative compared to the sell side.
Yeah.
And the reasoning for that is the liquidity of it.
Right. So, yeah, we're at, you had said about $6 on selling and $2.50 on buying.
Yeah, so $2 over on generics is what we're doing.
$2.
We were between $5 and $6 back a spot on generics and 100-ounce bars and all that type of product. And mainly because it's taking not, we'll say a week, we're taking up to a month to be able to get paid on product.
Yeah. Well, Charles, so one of the reasons why I'm up here is to find opportunities potentially in the equity side of this play. Now, of course, I started by stacking physical, and I think that
Sure.
that's where everybody should probably start at. But as I look into the equity plays, I still have a lot to learn, right? So
Yes.
I'm learning about what metrics to look at, how to value these companies, how to conduct due diligence. How much have you invested in any equities yourself? Is that something you're interested in?
I am
Speak
pretty
to that.
much a physical
Yeah.
buyer. I've invested in my company, and I believe on being your own central bank today. I feel that you need to store your own product and have it in hand. What you don't have in hand in today's world, you have no control of. And at any time, I mean, I've been in the business long enough where I've seen many companies go bankrupt on people.
Yeah. And I worry that it might be, it could be a top signal that a guy like me that comes from the crypto community
Yes.
is now coming to explore equities. I worry that that might be a top signal.
I don't think we're even close to top yet. I still think there's still a 2 year bull on this. Now, I'm not going to say there's not going to be corrections because there always is corrections in time.
Yeah.
But if we look at since Trump's been in office, we had a big push towards crypto base. It went what skyrocketed up, and then what has it done since? It's dropped in price.
Yep.
The problem is with cryptos, the way I see it, it's another fiat currency. There's nothing backing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's only the faith of the consumer that has faith in that particular product.
And when you look, what I've done recently is if you compare the ISM Purchasing Managers Index, the leading indicator of our economy, and what you see is that when it's in expansion, cryptocurrency's having a good time.
Yes.
When it's in contraction, like it's been all through 2025, crypto's not having a party. And so I think that that explains where crypto's been at. And I just say this, for me, I've felt comfortable and been able to take some risks in the digital asset space because I started with silver.
Sure.
I started with my defensive measures, and now my defensive measures are outperforming the stock market. They're outperforming some of our cryptocurrencies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going into real money is what's happening. Everything's turning into real money. We're seeing the current system eroding, and it's happening around the world. And so the people are looking at a defensive, and they're looking at real money, and real money is gold and silver.
Yeah. So, Charles, I want to talk about this product that you're working on right now, this wearable currency. And you got gold and silver denominated trading links. Let me see if I can show this to the camera right there, is your brochure.
Yes.
I picked this up in your shop earlier this week. And this goes back, the inspiration comes from
From my grandfather.
your grandfather.
Exactly.
So we already got the story about it, but what is the purpose of this?
This is a tradable unit. It is wearable. It is portable unit. So, for example, when you have gold and silver in coin form, bar form, or whatever, and want to travel with it, you have restrictions. But this is put into a jewelry form now. So I made this product so you can travel with it and move money, just like people were looking at crypto as moving money. Now we could do it with a physical product. And we decided we wanted to make it easier for the consumer and put it into a denominated links. So we're working on, right now, we're doing the 1 gram links, which are tradable. So each link is exactly 1 gram of gold. Each link is stamped with our company, what the denomination, the purity, and what type of product it is.
Yeah, and you showed me this in your shop, and it's totally customizable. So
Yes.
if you want it on your wrist, you want to make it a belt, you want to, anklet.
We could do anything. You want 30-inch length, we could do 30-inch length. We recommend, of course, doing something if you're traveling, something a little longer, and you need a form of money. You could take a few links off, trade those links, and put that necklace right back together.
Well, now that I'm a father, I'm about a 36-inch waistband. So hopefully you can make it that big for me,
I can
Charles.
make it as big as you want, buddy.
We got room to grow.
Yes.
And this is going to be gold and silver.
Gold and silver. So we're first starting with gold.
Yeah.
Gold's been the money of choice, so we're working on gold, and then we're going to move it into silver. Actually, we've been seeing silver prices jumping so fast, so we're going to start working on producing the silver too.
Timeline of this product being live.
This product will be live at the end of next month.
Oh, wow, that's quick.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've been working on this product for 2 years, trying to perfect it. on getting it to where we want it. It's not it wasn't easy to do, and that's why nobody's ever done it. So we've patented this piece. We're working on it to get this streamlined for people. People want to have a product, portable wealth that they can travel with.
I love how it's a local guy like you. We're in the same county, same area, and you're creating something here that nobody else in the world has really done yet.
Nobody has.
What's the feedback that you're getting around the conference right now?
Actually, I talked to a few of the YouTuber people and some different people here, and they love the product. They love the concept.
Yeah.
I've actually had some people. We put a little video out, and we'll get that out to the public. A little video out on the history of it, and with my grandfather and stuff like that. And people love that. That's what they're looking at.
Well, at this point, it's not. You might not be using this to negotiate your way onto the ship, but you're seeing the flight to safety across the board, whether it be strategic relocation or.
Yeah, this is real money.
Yeah.
This is money that's worldwide. It's not just localized. It is worldwide, where people realize what it is and value what it is.
Yeah.
And when we're having more and more states and more people looking at it, they're going to use that more as a form of currency compared to, the fiat system that we do have today.
Yeah. Well, I think that we've already made a good case for gold and silver, but final message for anybody who doesn't have exposure to gold or silver, what would you say to them?
I recommend just get your feet wet. Just start buying a few ounces. Gold and silver is insurance. It's something that has history for, thousands of years. And if we look at that, we've seen what fiat systems have done, and they've always crumbled because the governments get too greedy is what happens.
Yeah, awesome. And where are people going to be able to find this? Pacific Rim Trading is the company.
Yep, so they'll be able to get it on our website, pacificrimcoins.com. And it's going to be based off what gold's trading at the time, so there'll be a ticker on it. And you can buy one link at a time. You can buy 2 links. You can decide, hey, I want a full necklace or a bracelet. We'll be able to customize it for you.
Awesome. Well, Charles, I think that my community would love this product, so I'm hoping that maybe we can partner up on this as well.
Perfect.
And it's been an absolute pleasure to connect with you today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.